Hello friends, you are watching 3A's Vision, an innovative distance learning channel. We have started a series of videos about international financial reporting standards, international accounting standards, and other financial and accounting topics. It is most important and desired that if you are interested in improving your learnings, subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon to get our future updates. In IFRS 3 business combination, we will discuss its main 7 elements, which are number 1 objective, number 2 scope, number 3 identifying a business combination, number 4 the acquisition method, number 5 subsequent measurement and accounting, number 6 disclosures, and number 7 effective date and transition. Objective. The objective of IFRS 3 is to improve the relevance, reliability, and comparability of the information that a reporting entity provides in its financial statements about a business combination and its effects. To accomplish that, IFRS 3 establishes principles and requirements for how the acquirer, first of all, recognizes and measures in its financial statements the identifiable assets acquired, the liabilities assumed, and any non-controlling interest in the equity. Secondly, recognizes and measures the goodwill acquired in the business combination or a gain from a bargain purchase. And third, determines what information to disclose to enable users of the financial statements to evaluate the nature and financial effects of the business combination. The second element is scope. IFRS 3 applies to a transaction or other event that meets the definition of a business combination. On the other hand, this IFRS does not apply to the formation of a joint venture, the acquisition of an asset or a group of assets that does not constitute a business, and a combination of entities or businesses under common control. The third element, that is identifying a business combination. An entity shall determine whether a transaction or other event is a business combination by applying the definition in this IFRS, which requires that the assets acquired and the liabilities assumed constitute a business. If the asset acquired are not a business, the reporting entity shall account for the transaction or other event as an asset acquisition. The fourth element, that is the acquisition method. An entity shall account for each business combination by applying the acquisition method. Applying the acquisition method requires, first of all, identifying the acquirer. Secondly, determining the acquisition date. And thirdly, recognizing and measuring the identifiable assets acquired, the liabilities assumed, and any non-controlling interest in the equity. And finally, the fourth, recognizing and measuring goodwill or a gain from a bargain purchase. Identifying the acquirer. For each business combination, one of the combining entities shall be identified as the acquirer. The guidance in IAS 27, consolidated and separate financial statements, shall be used to identify the acquirer, that is, the entity that obtains control of the equity. Determining the acquisition date. The acquirer shall identify the acquisition date, which is the date on which it obtained control of the equity. The date on which the acquirer obtains control of the equity is generally the date on which the acquirer legally transfers the constitution, acquires the assets, and assumes the liabilities of the equity, that is the closing date. However, the acquirer might obtain control on a date that is either earlier or later than the closing date. Recognizing and measuring the identifiable assets acquired, the liabilities assumed, and any non-controlling interest in the equity. Here we discuss the 5 main elements, which are recognition principle, recognition conditions, classifying or designating identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed in a business combination, measurement principle, exceptions to the recognition or measurement principles. Hello friends, You are watching 3S Vision, an innovative distance learning channel. We have started a series of videos about international financial reporting standards, international accounting standards, and other financial and accounting topics. It is most important and desired that if you are interested in improving your learnings, subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon to get our future updates. Recognition conditions. To qualify for recognition, as part of applying the acquisition method, the identifiable assets acquired and the liabilities assumed must meet the definition of assets and liabilities in the framework for the preparation and presentation of financial statements at the acquisition date. Classifying or designating identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed in a business combination. At the acquisition date, the acquirer shall classify or designate the identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed as necessary to apply other IFRSs subsequently. The acquirer shall make those classifications or designations on the basis of the contractual terms, economic conditions, its operating or accounting policies, and other pertinent conditions as they exist at the acquisition date. Measurement principle. The acquirer shall measure the identifiable assets acquired and the liabilities assumed at their acquisition date fair values. For each business combination, the acquirer shall measure any non-controlling interest in the equity either at fair value or at the non-controlling interest's proportionate share of the equity's identifiable net assets. Exceptions to the recognition or measurement principles. This IFRS provides limited exceptions to its recognition and measurement principles. The acquirer shall account for those items by applying the requirements in which will result in some items being: number 1, recognized either by applying recognition conditions in addition to those in this IFRS or by applying the requirements of other IFRSs. Second, measured at an amount other than their acquisition date fair value. Exception to the recognition principle. Contingent liabilities. Contingent liabilities and contingent assets defines a contingent liability as a possible obligation that arises from past events and whose existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events not wholly within the control of the entity, or a present obligation that arises from past events but is not recognized because: number 1, it is not probable that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required to settle the obligation, or number 2, the amount of the obligation cannot be measured with sufficient reliability. Exceptions to both the recognition and measurement principles. Income taxes. The acquirer shall recognize and measure a deferred tax asset or liability arising from the assets acquired and liabilities assumed in a business combination in accordance with IAS 12 income taxes. Employee benefits. The acquirer shall recognize and measure a liability or an asset, if any, related to the acquiree's employee benefit arrangements in accordance with IAS 19 employee benefits. Indemnification assets. The seller in a business combination may contractually indemnify the acquirer for the outcome of a contingent or uncertainty related to all or part of a specific asset or liability. Reacquired rights. The acquirer shall measure the value of a reacquired rights recognized as an intangible asset on the basis of the remaining contractual term of the related contract, regardless of whether market participants would consider potential contractual renewals in determining its fair value. Share-based payment awards. The acquirer shall measure a liability or an equity instrument related to the replacement of an acquiree's share-based payment awards with share-based payment awards of the acquirer in accordance with the method of IFRS 2 share-based payment. Assets held for sale. The acquirer shall measure an acquired non-current asset or disposal group that is classified as held for sale at the acquisition date in accordance with IFRS 5 non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operations at fair value less cost to sell. Recognizing and measuring goodwill are a gain from a bargain purchase. There are three main factors we will discuss here. Number 1, bargain purchases. Number 2, consideration transferred. Number 3, contingent consideration. The acquirer shall recognize goodwill as of the acquisition date measured as the excess of A over B below. A. The aggregate of the consideration transferred measured in accordance with this IFRS, which generally requires acquisition date fair value. Secondly, the amount of any non-controlling interest in the acquired measured in accordance with this IFRS, and in a business combination achieved in stages, the acquisition date fair value of the acquirer's previously held equity interest in the acquiry. And B, the net of the acquisition date amounts of the identifiable assets acquired and the liabilities assumed measured in accordance with this IFRS. Bargain purchases. Occasionally, an acquirer will make a bargain purchase, which is a business combination in which the amount in paragraph B exceeds the aggregate of the amounts specified in paragraph A. If that excess remains after applying the requirements of bargain purchase, the acquirer shall recognize the resulting gain in profit or loss on the acquisition date. The gain shall be attributed to the acquirer. Consideration transferred. The consideration transferred in a business combination shall be measured at fair value, which shall be calculated as the sum of the acquisition date fair values of the asset transferred by the acquirer, the liabilities incurred by the acquirer to former owners of the acquiry, and the equity interest issued by the acquirer. Contingent consideration. The consideration the acquirer transfers in exchange for the acquiry includes any asset or liability resulting from a contingent consideration arrangement. The acquirer shall recognize the acquisition date fair value of contingent consideration as part of the consideration transferred in exchange for the acquiry. The acquirer shall classify an obligation to pay contingent consideration as a liability or as equity on the basis of the definitions of an equity instruments and a final liability. The acquirer shall classify as an asset a right to the return of previously transferred consideration if specified conditions are met. The fifth element of this IFRS, that is subsequent measurement and accounting. IFRS 3 provides guidance on subsequently measuring and accounting for the following: assets acquired, liabilities assumed or incurred, and equity instruments issued in a business. So, the reacquired rights, contingent liabilities, indemnification assets, and contingent consideration factors required to be discussed onward. The reacquired rights. The reacquired rights, recognized as an intangible asset, shall be amortized over the remaining contractual period of the contract in which the right was granted. An acquirer that subsequently sells a reacquired right to a third party shall include the carrying amount of the intangible assets in determining the gain or loss on the sale. Contingent liabilities. The acquirer shall measure a contingent liability recognized in a business combination at the higher of A. The amount that would be recognized in accordance with IAS 37, and B. The amount initially recognized less, if appropriate, cumulative amortization recognized. Indemnification assets. At the end of each subsequent reporting period, the acquirer shall measure an indemnification asset that was recognized at the acquisition date on the same basis as the indemnified liability or asset, subject to any contractual limitations on its amount, and for an indemnification asset that is not subsequently measured at its fair value, management's assessment of the collectability for the indemnification asset. The acquirer shall derecognize the indemnification asset only when it collects the asset, sell it, or otherwise loses the right to it. Contingent consideration. The acquirer shall account for changes in the fair value of contingent consideration that are not measurement period adjustments as follow. A. Contingent consideration classified as equity shall not be remeasured and its subsequent settlement shall be accounted for within equity. B. Contingent consideration classified as an asset or a liability, that is a financial instrument, and is within the scope of IAS 39 shall be measured at fair value with any resulting gain or loss in accordance with that IFRS. Second, that is not within the scope of IAS 39 shall be accounted for in accordance with IAS 37 or other IFRSs as appropriate. Disclosure. The acquirer shall disclose information that enables users of its financial statements to evaluate the nature and financial effect of a business combination that occurs either during the current reporting period or after the end of the reporting period, but before the financial statements are authorized for issue. The acquirer shall disclose information that enables users of its financial statements to evaluate the financial effects of adjustments recognized in the current reporting period that relates to business combinations that occurred in the period and previous reporting period. The last element of this IFRS, that is effective date and transition. To elaborate this, we will discuss three main factors here. First of all, effective date, secondly, transition, and thirdly, income taxes. Effective date. This IFRS shall be applied prospectively to business combinations for which the acquisition date is on or after the beginning of the first annual reporting period, beginning on or after 1st July 2009. Transition. Assets and liabilities that arose from business combinations whose acquisition dates preceded the application of this IFRS shall not be adjusted upon application of this IFRS. An entity, such as a mutual entity, that has not yet applied IFRS 3 and had one or more business combinations that were accounted for using the purchase method shall apply the transition provisions. Income taxes. For business combinations in which the acquisition date was before this IFRS is applied, the acquirer shall apply the requirements IAS 12 as amended by this IFRS prospectively. That is to say, the acquirer shall not adjust the accounting for prior business combinations for previously recognized changes in recognized deferred tax assets. At the end, we warm welcome your comments. Thanks and goodbye.